Morning, or maybe good day, or maybe good evening. TRON mainnet suffers attack, brings block production to a halt. How centralized is TRON, and how at risk are your funds within it? Bought some crypto from PayPal and I'm a little disappointed. I actually thought that PayPal will allow cryptocurrencies starting 2021, but apparently no. It is available right now. 10% of the US clients have access right now to the crypto payments, and this will increase to 100% in the next 2-3 weeks. Looking to Monero from a third-world country person point of view. Billionaire Jeffrey Gundlach changes his tune on Bitcoin. And quickly going through what he says, I don't believe in Bitcoin. I think that it's a lie. I think that it's very traceable. I don't think it's anonymous. On which he is 100% correct. We're gonna go through that and why he likes these paintings, and who is he and what is his net worth. And moving on to PayPal rises crypto buying limit from 215k a week for eager customers, as they used to have the limitation of 10k a week. 2018, Bitcoin is the biggest scam in history. 2020, 2 years later, PayPal to enable users to buy, sell, hold and shop with Bitcoin, which is a bit faulty this meme, because it was not in 2018 that PayPal said that. It's ex-CEO Bill Harris. As if we Google the statement, we see former PayPal CEO calls Bitcoin a scam, not the current CEO. Don't sleep on the Lightning Network, an article that I wanted to cover a while back. And Lightning Labs brings DeFi to Bitcoin with Lightning Pool, the company that develops the Lightning Network, with Elizabeth Stark as CEO and lead engineer. Lightning Pool, a technical deep dive, a very good article which I will link in the description. Moving on to SEC makes it easier for crypto startups to raise funds, allowing up to 5 million, up from 1.7 million. Ethereum DEX volume in October were worse than you might think, and they were indeed much worse than you might think. They were close to 45% down compared to September. However, a very weird bump in the volume, a 5 billion worth, made it after this bump that it's only 26% of the volume has been lost compared to September. And I want to go through the sushi token, how it was $1, then it went to close to $10, and now it's down to $0.5. Can the Raspberry Pi 400 run a full Bitcoin node, which is a Raspberry Pi integrated in a keyboard? Exploit sinks Axion's token price 99% on its first day. And Axion network is the one that you get one-to-one token with if you hold HEX token, and HEX is designed to increase its value faster than anything else in history. Further, Andres Sapos, an influential crypto commentator, that's the understatement of the century, but anyway, moving on, has been offered 10 bitcoins worth $134,000 to make an interview with the objective to show that HEX was not a scam, and he was asked not to disclose this financial incentive. The FinCEN files, what they are, that they got leaked on 20 September, what they show, and the 8 things we should know about that, and how angry most probably we should all be. If you're interested in any of this, see you in 10 seconds. It's a personal opinion, and I'm going to say it. TRON is a scam. Justin Sun is a scammer. He dismisses the recent issues with TRON network gets back to normal, enjoy standing money on TRON. Yeah, right. And then he dives a bit deeper into the issue. The TRON price moved just 3%, but how can just one super representative responsible for block generation to cease activities? Like that's just, it means to me that it's extremely centralized system, and you should just stay away from it. Like, if you want some gains, buy Ethereum. just buy Ethereum. Why do you need TRON? You think TRON is going to moon 10 times higher than Ethereum? Do you really believe that? If yes, why? Because back in 2018, 6th of April, Justin Sun says, why TRON is better than Ethereum? 1,000 billion TPS compared to 25 TPS. Zero fee versus high fee. Consistent coin burn versus no coin burn. Java versus Solidity. Strong extensibility versus no extensibility. 1 billion USD developers rewards versus not one. 100 million users versus small number. Really? 100 million users versus small amount of users on the Ethereum network? Really? You have 1 billion USD developer rewards? Guess why? Because it's centralized shit that you control. That's why. Zero fee versus high fee. Consistent coin burn versus non-coin burn. Java versus Solidity. I mean, sure, Java, to be honest, is no more widely adopted programming language. But regardless of this statement, how true it is or false it is, doesn't matter. The important part is, 2 years later, do you think that this still stands true, even if it was back then? I don't think so. I personally sold all my TRON. I'm just saying. Bought some crypto from PayPal and I'm a little bit disappointed because buy Bitcoin from PayPal directly, sell it back to them once you have it. This is what you can do. The only good part of the experience was that there was no fees to buy it. Face is given to me. There was no transfer on external wallet, and selling back has hefty 2.9% fee. Well, there is the fee rate, like there is fee. It's not like there is no fee. And the other thing is that they're selling at a premium. So if the current price of Bitcoin is exactly $10,000, they're gonna sell it to you at $10,200. So there is the fee already. It's inbuilt in the price. PayPal is taking advantage of the Bitcoin name to make people who have no clue think that they are using Bitcoin, just like AOL made people think that they were using the internet back in the day. It's very controlled and guided experience. Moving on. I'm not gonna have the time for this article fully to cover this topic. However, long story short is there is corruption done through cash, so there is no trace of it. Monero allows that, but it is what it is, you know. Of course, there always will be a way to untraceably transfer value from one party to another. This does not mean that cryptocurrencies or Monero is a bad thing. It just means that technology is technology and is dependent on its users to be used for good or for bad. It's not like we don't have corruption right now. Billionaire Jeffrey Godak changes his tune on Bitcoin, and he says that I prefer things that I can put in the trunk of my car. I prefer Mondrian on the wall to a digital entry that has the same value. I have to admit, I had to Google what the hell is a Mondrian. So it's a Piet Mondrian who is a painter, and if we check his paintings, I don't like them. I'm sorry, dude, I don't like your art. But apparently it has high value and people are storing their money in it. And this quite rich guy is like, you know what? I like physical things. I like things that I can touch. I prefer things that I can put on the trunk of my car instead of digital entry that has the same value. One thing though that he is right on is that I don't believe in Bitcoin. I think it's a lie. I think it's very traceable. I don't think it's anonymous. He's correct about this part. I don't know who lied to him that it's traceable, anonymous, and so on. There's literally companies built around chain analysis and tracing coins. What happened, let's say the coins from this hack, where they went and so on. So who he is, he has 2.2 billion and he used to be a fund manager of 9.3 billion fund. Moving on, PayPal rises crypto buying limit to 15k a month, and they are looking into extending their crypto services to Venmo on international customers in the first half of 2021. And they're going to extend their PayPal current user base to 100% of the US citizens in the next 2-3 weeks. Moving on, Bitcoin is the biggest scam in history. We covered this already in the preview. Former PayPal CEO says that. He says, I'm tired of saying that it's a pump and dump scheme. I'm tired of saying, be careful, it's speculative. Be careful, it's gambling. Be careful, it's a bubble. Okay, I'll just say it. Bitcoin is a scam, he wrote. And 2 years later, PayPal offers crypto services. So, I mean, he was right. It was speculative, it was in a bubble, but just with any other emerging technology that requires price discovery. There will be bubbles, the bubbles will pop, we'll have a massive correction, we'll start a new bull market. Don't sleep on the Lightning Network. 40,000 public nodes, 36,000 public channels, 1,050 Bitcoin capacity, over 12 million USD, which is nothing compared to DeFi, compared to the wrapped Bitcoin on the Ethereum mainnet. However, though, Lightning Network, I feel, is going to be a very big part of the crypto revolution and of adoption of Bitcoin and being able to use it to day-to-day transactions instead of just as a store of value and putting your money there and forgetting about it for 10 years and then, you know, hopefully becoming rich. I honestly believe that Lightning Network is a big part of the future. Lightning Swaps brings DeFi to Bitcoin with Lightning Pool, which is a bit of overstatement, but pretty much they are allowing for liquidity, providing where you can earn some interest on the money that you have walked in a certain channel. A non-custodian marketplace that connects people who want to buy inbound liquidity with those looking to earn a return on their Bitcoin Lightning channels, promoting more efficient capital allocation on the Lightning Network. In this post, we will be doing a deep dive into the architecture and design of the marketplace. It's a very good article. I recommend you to go through it, but we won't have the time to do that right now. SEC makes it easier for crypto startups to raise funds. I went through the basics. Honestly, the important part for me from this article is the following. Another law has been written, another change in the regulation, another step in the right direction. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will have a very important part in our future. They're here to stay. Ethereum DEX volume in October were worse than you might think. I covered already the 26% drop we're having. It was going to be 45% if 5 billion did not show up all of a sudden October 26th. What I want to highlight though is the following. Do you remember SushSwap? Do you remember Burger token? Do you remember Pizza token? Eclair token? Your Mama's Sandwich token? And all other absolute bullcrap that popped up? Do you remember them? Because here's the sushi token. Used to be $1, then it was $10, now it's 50 cents. Where do you think the price is going from now on? Look at the volume. From the beginning of September until the end of September, look at the volume. And now look at the volume this month. Okay, last month now. Look at it. In my opinion, we're 90% down. What is the difference of the volume on Coinbase versus the volume on Uniswap? Whenever someone Googles how to buy Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin? Where does he get? To Uniswap? He gets to Coinbase. Do you remember the article stating that this month might be the last month in which Coinbase has higher volume than Uniswap? Do you remember the hype around Uniswap and Unitoken? Are you still using Uniswap? What are the fees to deposit into a contract, to become a liquidity provider? How much are the fees on Coinbase? I mean, we complain, but really, Uniswap's fees are higher. All of these new tokens that came out of thin air made the decentralized exchanges volume skyrocket. Was it sustainable? Will it continue to be sustainable? How many people actually how many of the institutional investors are going to go to Uniswap to buy Bitcoin? How many from the people Googling what is Bitcoin is going to buy from Uniswap? Interesting questions. I'm going to leave the answers to you. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has much bigger block size, and regardless of that, it has almost no transactions on the network, so the block size is super small, even though the block cap is very big. Bitcoin blocks are constantly full. The mempool of Bitcoin always has transactions waiting to be done. Always. Look at this graph. Look at the past 30 days. We're almost never at the bottom. Like here and there we have some weak moments in which you could get a transaction for free, but majority of the times the Bitcoin mempool is filled up with transactions waiting to be completed. Thanks to the small block size of Bitcoin, we can we can run a full node on a Raspberry Pi. Of course, you're gonna say I need an SSD, external SSD with 1 terabyte. But imagine if the blocks of Bitcoin Cash were constantly filled in. Were we gonna be able to run a Bitcoin Cash full node on a Raspberry Pi? I don't think so. It's not just about the disk space. The bigger the blockchain is, the more computing power you need to work with it. The stronger CPU do you need, the more RAM you need. If you have slow CPU and a big blockchain that you have to work on, you're gonna do it super slow. That's it, just think about it. Think about what is the correct way to scale Bitcoin, and is it by increasing the block size? I'm not saying that 1 megabyte is the perfect block size. What I'm saying is that maybe the price that we're paying in terms of high fees, of limited transactions amount, is not a bad price to pay for the decentralization that we get, and for the fact that we are working on a layer 2 solutions, which are non-custodial layer 2 solutions. Maybe in 3 years, thanks to Lightning Network, we will be able to transact for commerce with no fees whatsoever. Maybe we just have to be a bit patient. Maybe. Exploit sinks Axion token price 99% in its first day. Here you can see what happened to the price. It went from $0.003 to $0.00015, 99% decrease. The Axion network calls itself a high interest investment platform. It encourages users to lock their tokens up and claims they'll be able to enjoy their life living off the interest. Oh, how I love claims like that. I love them. HEX holders are given AXN tokens at 1-to-1 ratio. We covered this already. I just want to remind what happened to the Sush token, and Sush token was not an obvious scam as the Axion token apparently is. Just moving on. FinCEN. This is one of the things that just makes me angry. It just makes me angry. That's all it does. FinCEN files. The FinCEN files are leaked documents from the US Treasury. The Treasury of Financial Crimes and Enforcement. So they're not meant for the public. They're private documents submitted by the banks to the government. 8 things you need to know about the dark side of the world's biggest banks and revealed in the FinCEN files. 1. Big banks around the world approve trillions of dollars of suspicious transactions despite their own staff warning they might be related to crime. The other day, I've been rejected a transaction from Kraken to my personal commerce bank, not like their own bank, the bank that I'm banking with. I was declined the transaction because, it's dirty money. It's crypto money. We don't accept crypto money. Even though I've done KYC, I've proven who I am, I've given my passport. If I'm doing anything shady, put me in jail. You know who I am. But the big banks allow shady transactions when they're worth millions and billions of dollars. But for mine, 1k euro, they're like, you know what? We don't want your crypto money. Okay. The US government is informed of these transactions through suspicious activity report that banks file. Those reports are designed to aid the fight against money laundering, but experts say the system contains a crucial loophole. Banks are required to file the alerts to the Treasury Department of Financial Crime Enforcement Network, the FinCEN, but not to halt the suspicious activity or to stop serving shadowy clients. Very interesting. Banks sometimes fails to take even the basic steps to root out financial crime, such as determining whose money they're actually moving. HSBC, Europe's largest bank, got a second chance after becoming a key financial conduit of narco trafficker and money launderers. But even with the federal monitor, a judge and prosecutor providing oversight, HSP continued profiting from customers it deemed suspicious. And here is the article of HSP got busted for moving dirty money. It apologized and promised to do better. And then apparently it doesn't. One of the biggest money laundering scheme in memory became international scandal of Dutch bank top executive. There has been warned the bank was at risk of being exploited by criminals. The problem with the money laundering aren't just confined to one bank or one country. The Vincent Files investigation also documented that after they were signed out for misconduct, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of New York, Mellon, HSBC, Standard Chartered and Dutch Bank continue to move money for suspicious clientele. The arrival of suspicious money circulating the globe trickle into every country and countless industry through familiar products and companies from sports, real estate, and everyday consumer goods. I'm personally mad that when I do a crime, I go to jail. Apparently, there is money being laundered through banks. And this is trillions of dollars. And they're doing it because they're getting their cut. They're doing it because they're getting % of this dirty money. If I buy drugs right now on the street, I'll go to jail. If you sell me drugs, you will go to jail. But when banks launder the money of organized crime, no one goes to jail. How is this acceptable? Crypto is the future. And it's not because it's with no transaction fees. It's not because, it's, how do I put it? Because all of the standard reasoning that we give, it's decentralized permissions and so on. It's just the future because the current system is built to keep us in modern slavery. See you tomorrow.